Parks, how we doing?
Good, Zach. How are you, man?
Good. Probably safe to say nobody knows this offense as well as you do. You've been here for a while. 15 points a game is not going to cut it in this league. You know that. When you look at this season as a whole, and there's been a lot of change and a lot of different things that go into this, why has the offense not been able to be explosive and consistent?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of things that go into it. I think that there's been a part in the season where everybody's played blame, right? I think there's been times where we've evaluated our plan and we could have put players in better position. There's been places where, we're not executing in places we need to execute, especially when the game's on the line in certain areas. So I think it's kind of been a mixed bag of what the problems have been. And that's been the disappointing part is, at times we feel like we clean up one part of the game and then another part might break down. At times we feel like, we just need to do better as coaches. And so everybody, and the thing I love about our team and our guys is nobody's pointing fingers at anybody else. Everybody in the building on staff and players is all, looking at themselves in the mirror and evaluating what can we do to get better? What do I need to do to help this team, to help the offense get better, to help the team win? And that's what we're doing.
James Boyd.
Parks, I know you all had got it down to the 5 there. If you punch that one in for a touchdown, obviously your chances of winning go up exponentially. But what do you think was the issue, I guess, on that particular drive and just why you all are able to move the ball? Then it seems like around that 35, 30, yard range, it gets a lot tougher.
Yeah. So we got down to the 5, felt like we had some momentum. We had hit the big third down. We had a couple of good runs going into that, getting into that drive. Felt like we were getting a little bit of momentum. We had the run. We had a couple of plays there that just execution just wasn't where it needed to be on the run. And then I thought that as far as the play call on the second down, could have put our guys in better position. And then on the same thing on the third down. So we acknowledge our red zone struggles, and that's something that we're definitely evaluating and looking to get better at. And we know that we have to score 7 down there. 3 is not going to cut it, especially against the best teams in the league. And, that's what we're doing right now.
Kevin Bowen. Hey, Kevin, I think you're muted.
You'd think I'd get the hang of this by now. Apologies, Parks. 2 weeks. What have you liked? What have you not liked about how you've handled game days?
Yeah. Obviously this game, there was a lot more unconventional situations where you're in, and as a play caller that it can be hard, but I still feel comfortable with how I responded. I felt like, I didn't have a lot of moments where I didn't know what I wanted to get to. I think that a lot of the things that came up, I had thought through and I was ready for them when the moment came. As far as the calling the plays, I thought that we had a plan going into the game and, stuck to that plan. And at the end of the day, you always obviously look back at calls that you want back when it doesn't work. But I do think that, just as far as having 2 games under my belt, I still feel comfortable with just how in the moment, how, I feel and how I kind of handle the situations.
Joel Erickson.
Hey, Parks. What can you guys do to get the ball down the field more in the passing game?
Yeah, I just think it's a combination of, just finding more ways to get the guys the ball in space where they can catch and run. And then obviously, when you want to push the ball down the field, you got to think protection first. And so it's finding ways to protect, to be able to push the ball down the field and in your spots. I do believe in, keeping the quarterback from getting hit as much as possible. And I think that that's something that obviously there's a risk involved when you want to push the ball down the field a lot. But I also acknowledge the fact that you can't just dink and tuck it down the field all the time, and you have to find ways to push it down the field. So that's definitely something that, we're always looking for, always wanting to do. And, it definitely needs to be a part of our offense.
Stephen Holder.
Hey, Parks. I think in the last couple games when Matt's, been back in the lineup, I don't think he has any turnovers, if I'm not mistaken. And obviously, they were coming way too frequently earlier in the season. What, if anything, can you put your finger on has changed? I mean, obviously you got a lot of other things to work on, but what has if anything, has maybe turned that for him, do you think?
Yeah, good question. And I think it's a testament to Matt. I think he's acknowledges that that's something that, that he can't do is turn the ball over. And, he knew that all along, but I think that he's really taken that next step of saying, I'm going to protect the ball. Our defense is playing really well, and it's just, we got to do whatever we can do to win the game. And I think he's done an extremely good job the last 2 games of taking care of the ball, being smart, being good decision maker. And then, we've done some good things. I don't think he had a sack in 2 weeks ago. And then obviously we had a couple this game, but the protection has been, good in certain areas as well. So I think that it's just, it's just a combination of all those things. It's a team effort. And obviously we're still trying to get better with some of those things, but I just think that he's done a really good job of committing to it and making good decisions.
One quick follow-up, well, not a follow-up, different question.
Yeah.
Looking ahead, I know we got, quite a few days still, but Pittsburgh, they've got, 2 guys on the edge who are really humming. TJ's back, and then the other end, I guess, is really producing this year, apparently. So how does that impact you from a play calling standpoint, whether you shut them out or whether they have a bunch of sacks? I mean, the potential is there for that edge pressure. How does that impact you as a play caller, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're always thinking about that, right? Especially when you're going against a defense like Pittsburgh, who Watt and Highsmith are really good players. Like you said, Highsmith's, I feel like he's an underrated player in this league, and he's having a heck of a year numbers wise. And then obviously we know what Hayward brings inside too. So, you're going against a front like that. It obviously plays into your play calling and your decision making, and really it's your game planning. Like, you think about those things going through the week and the things that you put on the call sheet, that's obviously on your mind with everything. And so, I think that we're going to put together a good plan for those guys, and hopefully we can go execute it on Sunday.